This is David Brooks reading The Valley Between, or The Dribblings of a Big Shaggy. Some people radiate joy for family, cause, community, faith, and living for others. Having given themselves away, this joy is an outlook on life. They've kept score and secured ego by climbing reputation management mountain. Our culture endorses social circles and nice homes, families, vacations, food, friends. But they've asked themselves, is this all there is? Others get knocked off this first mountain by failures in career, family, reputation, or knocked crossways by death, cancer, addiction, tragedy into suffering valleys. Seasons of suffering break people open, revealing layers they have been neglecting. Some become afraid, resentful, smaller, lonelier, with eternal grievances and tantrums. Others see deeper and transcend the self to become whole and love thy neighbor. Those made larger by suffering rebel against ego ideals of selfish desires. Opposing mainstream power, fame, consumerism, they seek morality, responsibility. They are brave enough to change motivations, becoming other-centered. This bigger mountain, though more satisfying, doesn't require rejecting the first. Some people radically alter their lives, quit jobs, and spend time differently. Others are transformed, devoting themselves to helping people get better. A young man was in a coma due to fighting, and his dad snapped at the hospital's janitor. The first mountain would snap back, while the second mountain meets in times of crisis. I cleaned the room again. I wasn't angry at him. I guess I could understand. Lincoln desired fame and power, but preserving the Union became his second mountain. General McClellan, whom he wanted to be more aggressive, rudely stood him up. Lincoln looked past etiquette and personal dignity for something outside, not inside. If your ultimate appeal is to something outside self, then you're on your second mountain. The first mountain is ego, acquisitive, elitist, while the second is contributory and egalitarian. The first mountain is conquered, while the second addresses the problem of injustice. The first mountain is cheerful, interesting, impressive, while the second mountain offers moral joy. Living fuller, filled by requests and demands, one activates deeper parts of themselves. Second mountain orgs transform permanently through purpose, rituals, origin stories. This book will show in concrete detail how to serve a cause larger than yourself. Relation, community, commitment is the only way out of 60 years of hyper individualism. The ethos for self doesn't satisfy, but don't take these metaphors too literally. For example, there's my second wife, former employee, 26 years, my junior. It's a good girl. The first mountain is lightly attached, while the second is deeply committed to vocation, spouse, family, philosophy, faith, community. Commitment is a promise without expectation and determines fulfillment. To be self-centered is normal. We fall short because of limitations, not ideals. Since my last limited book on character, I've had an advanced education in living. Imprisoned by individualism, I believed in willpower over sin and weakness, but surrendering to causes and people provides a moral joy better than character. I have become radicalized because society's cultural, moral structures are not fine. Individualism is catastrophic, and the whole cultural paradigm has to shift. My first mountain made me irresponsible and aloof, with a cold apathy towards people. But let's not discuss the details of my first marriage. The derealization of my divorce and shallow social circles left me in the valley, humiliated, emotional, needy. I try not to remember that period due to shame. Due to shame. My divorce was due to success, which failed to fulfill. This book is my penance. I'm not really a writer. I just quote wise people like a beggar with found bread. For 60 years, capitalism, meritocracy, social sciences promoted money, status, power. Political corruption is due to individualistic values, rotting moral foundations. We need more emotion to cure emphasis on reason and conspiracies against joy. Don't reject the pleasures of egoism, but rather shift values and structures of power. The second mountain is enchanted, strange, and mystical. Approval and careers are a sun lamp, while joyfulness is sunshine. Public conversation defines good living constitutionally as the pursuit of happiness. It's important to distinguish happiness from joy. Happiness deals with success, ability, and sensual pleasure. Through love, family, natural beauty, and friendship, joy transcends the self. Narcissists can't give up their first mountain due to their shallow sense of reality. Happiness is fleeting, while joy is enduring. Joy is reality. For years, I've been collecting accounts of when life is full, meaningful, complete. I've created a hierarchy of joy, of which the first category is physical activity. Collective ritual, like marching in military formations, offers wonderful physical flow. The second category of joy is celebratory dance, such as found in Orthodox Judaism. Kicking it to hip-hop in nightclubs in 90s London is also a form of joyful dance. The cage of self-consciousness falls away in this kind of joy. The third category of joy is emotional sudden love, such as that of motherhood. Watching your kids play on a perfect lawn is one example of this liquid joy. Disappearing into romantic relationships is another example of emotional joy, a voice speaking between us and the world, between us and the other. My fourth category of joy is derived from unexpected contact with pure spirit. A poet in Prague, with his naked girlfriend standing by, wrote this about a bird. I wish the moment not to pass, but it did. Spiritual joy provides blissfulness in the face of death, such as Tolstoy and his mother. My fifth category of joy is feeling at one with nature, universe, God. A professor of theological studies described hiking in mystical terms in his own book. These transcendent moments are a hidden reality, like Plato or Ralph Emerson. C.S. Lewis and St. Augustine also describe spirituality in transcendent terms. Jules Evans broke his back, but felt okay about it. A strong majority of people relate mystical experiences to conceptions of the infinite. Moral joy is the highest category, beyond skepticism, weird biology, and odd sensations. Pope Francis, Bishop Tutu, Paul Farmer, Yo-Yo Ma, the Dalai Lama exhibit moral joy. Moral joy can begin as moral elevation according to social psychologists. Powerful moments of moral elevation inspire, like shoveling an old lady's driveway. Actions elevate or degrade your personality towards goodness or cruelty, callousness. Rather than fear and insecurity, those who surrender to loving commitments radiate joy. Incandescent souls take on the heaviest burdens, not pleasures and delights. Permanent moral joy is turning desire outwards for others, like fostering children. A Roman Catholic priest said, compassion shifts from preoccupation to fellowship. David Koch, Condoleezza Rice, and Madeleine Albright oversee my philanthropy. After-school programs, Somali refugees, car dealerships, and developers are a community. Charisma equates to flowing moral joy. Helen Keller told me that there is joy in self-forgetfulness. A professor at Yale claims that joy is the expression and manifestation of a good life. Though happiness is proper, big game joy is worth hunting because we are mortal. Happiness fades, while committed joy transforms through an outpouring of love.